Okay, here I am starting with the piece on the left. I have a piece that's leather hard. It's been stained, and I've put a few little highlights on there to guide the Sgraffitto relief carving tool. As you can see, I'm adding a few curves right here. This will be the top ring of the pattern. A lot of times I start at the top. It gives me something to reference to, and I usually like to start on the top. But anyway, on the right side, you can see the piece when it's pretty much done with the relief carving. It may not be fully complete, but it's pretty far along. Here I'm using a tool that I started using just recently for taking wider relief cuts in, or doing the sgraffito with a wider cut. It actually worked a lot better than I expected. I usually use the smaller tools, but that just took a lot more time. And here it gives me a smoother surface. Sometimes I like the grooves from the smaller tool, but in this case here, if you like a smoother surface, it's not as smooth as the sgraffito surface itself that will turn black, but it leaves a consistent smooth surface underneath there as far as being carved. On the right side, you can see the piece again when it's pretty much completed with the relief carving. That's in the mirror there. And here I've got on the left side, I have the piece, the first band is pretty much relief carved. There may be a little bit of touch up along the corners and a few places like that. So I'm starting the basic pattern for as you can see the piece on the right, I'm starting the it look kind of like an arrowhead on the middle band. So I'm working my way around there. I'm just doing a rough cut. Now with a smaller tool, I'm coming back in there and cleaning up some of the corners a little bit. And I'll probably just kind of like a second draft of the relief carving. I'll probably make a third just to clean them up really well. They don't have to be perfect. It's a hand carved piece. I try not to make it look like it's a production piece put together by a mold and a machine. So here I'm using an old French curve just to lay a few draft lines down. I used to use the French curve when I did mechanical drawings back in the 70s for different things before we had computers, but now they come in handy for this. On the right side, you can see my grip and grip with the bowl on top of it, just cleaning up the base for it there in that situation. Here I'm starting the relief carving. I'm using a little music wire loop tool to make a smaller thickness line for the relief cut. I have several music wire tools that I've used over the years for different types of loops at the end of the tools. I use paintbrushes for the holding tool, and then shape these sometimes little curved ends, elliptical end, or some sort of a squared off ends for different types of cuts. Again, on the right side, there's the piece on the Lockerbie. This piece, or most of my pieces, are actually thrown on my Pacifica electric wheel, and they're actually carved on my Lockerbie kick wheels. I prefer each tool for the way it's used. The electric wheel, I'm just used to using that, and I've used Pacifica wheels most of my life. And the Lockerbie wheels have come in really handy for the carving because they're so easy to move back and forth slowly, more quickly, and they just help me maneuver the piece back and forth just to gain access to whichever area I want to work on for the carving. So you can see on the right side again, the piece is a little further along with the carving. The stain itself will turn sort of a satin black when it's fired. It'll offset the medium tan or brown for the clay beneath that. This is a cone 5 to cone 6 clay. It's pretty good plastic clay. I buy it from New Mexico clay here in Albuquerque, and I've used it for quite a while. It's Maryland's clay. It just has the right grog and the right consistency that I need, or plasticity that I need for the clay. Doesn't make super large pieces, at least from my experience, it doesn't. But it's good for the smaller pieces and bowls and plates and mirror frames that I make. Appears this piece is pretty much done here. So after it's completed, I'll give it a quick double check, check for any little details, some little edge or something I may have left out or thought I'd come back to and forgot about. But anyway, I'll give it a double check. After that, it'll be air dried for a few days, And then after that, it'll be loaded into my scud kiln. It'll be fired to a little over cone 5, and that'll change the pattern color and the clay color. They'll offset one another quite a bit. I'll have a black against a medium tan, and it's just a decorative piece, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing when it's completely fired.